Oh, okay, guys. Welcome to the ideas evaluation section. Now, this might not be the most exciting part of the project, but it's one that, if done well, can really add marks in several places in your folder. So hopefully you'll give it a go. You'll get your heads down, and within an hour or so, you should be able to get this piece done, dusted in your folder, and out of the way. So the objective then is to evaluate the range of ideas that you've developed based on what you've identified as important in your specification. That's quite important. So when we did criterion 1, we talked about how important the specification is, and at this early stage in criterion 2, we're starting to see the effects of that already. So in order to make sure this is done well, your specification really does need to be a good quality checklist. Okay, so double check that before you start. Okay, so the part of the mark scheme we're going to try to answer today is obviously criterion 2. And it talks about evaluation generally in this section, but it also says that the implications of a wide range of issues, including social, moral, environmental and sustainability, are taken into consideration and inform the development of the design proposals. So we're going to evaluate your design, or your range of designs, sorry, and we're going to look at the specification. We're also going to think about environmental and social, moral issues. Okay. Now the great thing about this sheet in your folder is that it also allows us to access the top mark band in criterion 4. So the one piece of work does two things. Okay, now the first bullet point in the top mark band says that detailed testing and evaluation as appropriate throughout the designing and making process, taking account of client, user or third-party opinion. So effectively, if you evaluate your design ideas and you think about social, moral, environmental considerations, and then you canvass opinion from somebody else, you'll be able to access the top mark band for criterion 4, which is testing and evaluation, and the top mark band for criterion 2. So that's why it's such an important piece of work. Okay. So what we're going to get you to do then, as I've already suggested, is evaluate each design against your specification. You're going to refer to the needs of the user and the manufacturer. You're going to consider environmental, social and moral implications. You can provide a very short summative evaluation statement. You're going to obtain some target market feedback, and then what you're going to do from your 6 ideas, you're going to choose your strongest 2 in order to develop through modelling. Explain why, and then if you can at this stage, identify any additional research, okay, that you might need to do in order to develop your design. So what have you done so far then? In order to do this task, you need to have done the following. So obviously your sketchbook will be full of loads and loads of uninhibited design ideas, and they look fantastic so far. But you also need inside your folder your high quality rendering initial idea sheet. So it'll look a little bit like this, at least 6 ideas on the page. So the ideas will be presented like this. You'll have some high quality rendering showing 3-dimensional form and texture and tone. You'll have a little bit of annotation. You'll have measurements for each item, and you'll also have included the images that inspired the idea. Okay, so once you've got that done, you're going to work on this, which is the idea evaluation. Now all the things that I've identified in the checklist, if I just quickly jump up here, and all the things that have been identified in the mark scheme here and the mark scheme here can be completed in a table form like this. Now, as with the other tutorials, there are lots and lots of ways to do this task. This is just one example, but it seems to be the most succinct way of getting it right. Okay, so just across the top, you've got each idea. So in this case, there are 4 because there was a page that came before it. And down the left-hand side, there are the specification points. So this student's opted to go with headings, so aesthetics, cost, consumer, etc. Access FM all the way down the side. And then what she's done is she's taken the aesthetic specification point, and she's evaluated design number 1 against aesthetics, design number 2 against aesthetics, 3 and 4 and so on, and she's done that all the way through, and then she's given each idea a score out of 10, which is fine. That's great. Down the right hand side of the page, she thought about social and moral issues of her design. She got some target market feedback, and then based on the evaluation which appears here and the scoring which appears here, she's clearly identified to the examiner which 2 designs she's going to progress with and why. So the examiner will be able to take a really quick look. He'll be able to say, yeah, she's evaluated against the spec, she's evaluated each idea, she's got some target market feedback, and I can clearly see which two designs she's going to start to model. Okay, so it makes it really clear in the examiner's mind how you're progressing with your project. But again, you might be able to choose a better way of laying it out. I'm not saying it has to be done this way. Okay, so last thing then before I let you crack on with the task, the kind of things that you might write in your evaluation. So the specification point might say something like, the product must have as little impact on the environment as possible. And you might say, I've selected pine for the tabletop. It will be sourced from a sustainable forest, which means that once cut down, the tree will be replaced. Also, softwood trees tend to grow quicker than hardwood trees. Pine is easily cut and shaped, which will not take much energy to convert from planks into the final product. Okay, so there are several ways in there that you're evaluating against environmental impact. So first of all, sustainable source, and then secondly, pine is easy to shape and cut, which means you won't take much power. Okay, next one, the product must have a high quality finish. And your evaluation against that could be something like, I've chosen acrylic for the draw fronts. This is self-coloured and self-finishing, reducing labour costs. As acrylic is high quality finish, and I will laser cut the product, the final finish should be excellent. Okay, so guys, I hope that's really clear. If not, obviously give us a shout, but that should be fine. You should be able to evaluate your ideas in your folder. Thanks guys.